Hello, everyone, and welcome into BTB Now.
I
It's
didn't get a countdown or anything. Jesus.
June 4th, 2018. We returned from what, 2.5 month break, I think it was.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I tried to end the hiatus multiple times. Everyone was busy, but yeah, we're back.
And since it's still not football season, 2.5 month break,
Well,
I
what
always,
it is football season. What off season, right?
yeah, but we still have to open the show with asking you, how's life going?
It's could be better. Two summer classes, three jobs. It's not been pleasant. Building a website. So I guess that'll be an announcement coming soon for Bird to Bell. And Marchizo didn't bury that, so that doesn't bode well for me. But all in all, I guess it's all right.
That's good.
Pens are out of the playoffs. I don't think we've been on since that. But
No, we haven't. I don't know how.
The Penguins West are in the Stanley Cup final. So
Yes, the Vegas Golden Knights. But before you start attacking me for that, um, just the running bit there is that we ask Nick every time when it's not football season how life's going. We never ask Jason. But can we just touch on the fact that Jason's not here? Like literally the person with the least life of all of us still is not able to make it to a single show.
yeah, I it's very on brand for us. So I don't. Apparently, we have like a whole slew of new viewers coming in. So I think this is kind of perfect for that. You want to go that way. I also forgot to mention, as you know, if we're going through the bits here, I recently ended my boycott of sports. I don't know why I decided to watch the finals, but I did. So yeah, there's that.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that. We'll touch on the NBA Finals because I have a couple of J.R. Smith theories as to why he didn't want to shoot that ball, and I'm just willing to lay
Overall,
later. But I want to start. It's a hockey hardo type of night.
yeah.
As a hockey hardo, I'm sitting here watching the Stanley Cup Finals. I know you're watching the Stanley Cup Finals.
I mean, I like to refer to what you are as a hockey fraudo, but
Okay, and go ahead. We'll let you go ahead because I know you've been waiting a while to vent this frustration with me.
well, I've spent the last 3 to 4 minutes trying to think of bigger frauds than you, and it's been difficult. I know we'll get into the Colangelo family later, but I don't think they're even frauds per se. I think they're just horrible people. You're an all right person. You're just total fraud when it comes to hockey. Yeah, I mean, like you and like I would have been fine if like you announced the beginning of the year you're going to be a Vegas fan. Like you watched. I mean, I don't really care if you watched regular season games. Like if you got into double digits, like that's fine, whatever. But like going into the playoffs, and I asked you repeatedly, are you a Flyers fan or are you a Knights fan? And you refused to answer the question until the Flyers were eliminated. You didn't grow out a beard for either team. You I haven't seen a whole lot of talk about the Knights until now. So I'm just kind of wondering, where you're at on that. I mean, we didn't talk hockey at all throughout the like most of the playoffs. You and I, even though you're a self-professed hockey hardo. So
Maybe that's more me talking. Washington Discord. Maybe that's more my take on your stance as a hockey fan. Maybe
you're gonna call my hockey fandom into question here.
I'm just saying. There was not a lot of three-leave tweets coming from you, so I
was just talking about talking. That's fine.
I was just tossing that out there, but no. In reality, I've said this before. You've chose to ignore me, which is perfectly fine. Addressing the beard, my beard in 3 days is what your beard is in 3 weeks.
Okay, but it's not about the product. It's about the effort. You didn't put any effort in, and I think that's what's giving your team some bad juju right now, because there doesn't appear to be anything on your chin.
There is actually there. I already have Scruff.
Okay, so much for what you have in 3 days, I have in a month. But
Yeah, well, this is 5 o'clock shadow.
okay, very good.
So, just laying that one out there for you. So aside from addressing the beard, I think I've been pretty clear on my thoughts towards the Flyers and Golden Knights going into the playoffs the whole time. You don't like this explanation, therefore you don't deal with it. The Flyers, I was realistic about. They weren't getting past the Penguins. The Golden Knights, I actually thought they had a chance.
Okay. Also, you didn't even we didn't even discuss Ryan Reeves going to Vegas, and he looks like, well, Fleury's gonna, if Vegas wins, Fleury's got the Conn Smythe, but Ryan Reeves is a very close second, and we not once discussed that huge trade or Vanek at the deadline, which Vegas got swindled somehow, and they've been doing all the swindling this year, but I guess it's a little late to discuss that.
Yeah, well, I believe we did discuss briefly on a show. I think you brought it up
Right.
kind of trying to joke at me about my knowledge, and we kind of then glossed over it. I think
we'll review the tape later.
Yeah. Well, no, we won't. I can guarantee none of us. If we don't have people going over the tape, we are not going over it. That's an intern job. We'll call up intern. All right, but in terms of this Stanley Cup Finals, because there is no technically Pennsylvania team in it, but Vegas.
Vegas is essentially Pittsburgh.
Yeah, basically Pittsburgh.
A lot of people have tried to downplay this and be like, oh, I hate when a player will go from one team and then you'll be like, oh, it's basically our team. But it's not like just a bunch of scrubs. It's not like it was just David Perron or Ryan Reeves that's on Vegas. But James Neal, Derek Englund, and Fleury, all fan favorites, all big parts of the Penguins. And Perron, I always hated Perron. But he got us Carl Hagelin, so I now like the idea of him being on the roster for a brief period of time. And Ryan Reeves, we loved him for the couple months that we had him, even though we hated the trade. We hated him before he got on the ice, but grew to love him and kind of do. I think he hates the Penguins, though. That's a different story.
This collective we,
the Yinzers.
Yinzers. So, are you speaking on behalf of the Yinzers here, or is this more of?
Yes, I'm speaking on behalf of the Yinzers. I guess I would be like a Ginzer, a new Ginzer.
No, that's not.
Okay.
Yeah. So I obviously Vegas is your team of choice in this.
Well, I was very anti-Vegas until I had no choice, because I don't think that they should be able to win a cup in the first year without any pain and suffering. But going up against the Capitals, I literally have no choice, because supporting a team with Tom Wilson on it, I don't want to say that it's like supporting terrorists, but
that's exactly what I'm going to say.
I'm kind of leaning that way. Okay, so I wouldn't say that, but if I were to say something, it would be probably kind of close to that. Someone actually tweeted out a picture of Tom Wilson side by side Bin Laden today and said the resemblance is uncanny.
Yeah, I saw. And, why I knew exactly where you were going. When you said I knew exactly what was coming. We don't have a mute button, so we actually do have a mute button, but I was not fast enough to react, so I just kind of let that one play out.
Okay. But I mean, they do kind of look alike. You'd be surprised how much they look alike.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't give it much of a look. Yeah. I think that's all I'm gonna touch on that.
Okay.
So moving on from that, because I do have some Pittsburgh hockey issues that I need you to talk about, because
I'm okay. Wait, I just forgot. I forgot about this until you started talking about it. But now I know what you're about to bring up, and I'm very sad.
Phil Kessel,
yeah,
may not be a Pittsburgh Penguin when the next season starts. How concerned are you?
This is a very complicated situation. For my heart, for my brain, for the city of Pittsburgh, for Phil, for the for the burger joints of Pittsburgh. Very, very emotional, complicated, whatever you want to call it. I'm kind of split on this because I mean, Phil Kessel's my favorite player, and he has been ever since he got here. However, if there were a time to trade him, it would be now. And I know Daniel Sprong will be playing next year. I want Daniel Sprong to be playing. I don't like that he's like he's said to be like a poor man's Phil Kessel, but he kind of is. So speaking rationally, I think if you can get a good return, top 6 defenseman and a solid draft pick and prospects and whatever, I say do it. I'm just going to be really, really upset when it happens. And then I'll get over it in a year, but it's not going to be a pretty sight if it happens.
Are we talking like boycott of sports type scene?
No, I mean, like, I'm gonna, like, once September hits and it's football season, then you get into hockey, that's my time of year. I can only like mess around with the sports boycotts like at this time of year when like I don't actually watch baseball. And yeah.
No.
I pretend to watch baseball, but I don't watch baseball. I hate the NBA. I love basketball. I hate the NBA. And I mean, like, I can do without, watching. Like, I really like hockey, but I mean, I can do without it if the Penguins aren't playing, So I can get away with it now. But
so if you had to put chances on it right now, based on what you've read, what you've seen.
Well, okay, that's also another element of it I have to get into, because the Pittsburgh media is just garbage. Because when Phil got here, they like tried to like make a big deal out of how they were treating him so well, and the Toronto media ran him out of town, and they weren't going to do that, and they're going to, treat him like the legend he is. And then they did exactly what they said they weren't going to do. And it's just been hit piece after hit piece after hit piece. Just because he didn't talk to the media on a locker room cleanout day. And like, that's just not who he is. So yeah, I really despise that. But based on what I've been hearing in my sources and just plain logic, I think there's probably about like a 30 to 40% chance it happens.
So you're saying about 60 to 70% that he stays?
I think closer to 60-40, but yeah. Wow. I mean, he's coming off a 92-point season. You're not going to top that. He has a lot of value because Toronto's keeping so much of his salary, but it still is a big number, especially when you have to pay Jake Gensel, and we have Conor Sheary making like $3.5 million for whatever reason. Matt Hunwick's on an awful contract for 2 more years, and yeah, there's going to be some issues down the road. Daniel Sprong's contract is going to be up. You have to pay him too. Justin Schultz, the list goes on. But I'm kind of, as time's gone on, I've kind of like decided that I kind of want it to happen. As far as like GM perspective, like I'm Jim Rutherford. I think I should do this, but it's gonna hurt so much.
Okay, yeah. When you say when time has gone on, is time this conversation?
No. Like in the last like week, but also this conversation.
Because it seems like you've definitely talked yourself into this as the best case, worst case scenario for you in terms of business versus emotion.
Well, I've definitely hedged my bets in that sense, but it's still like, no matter how much I know, because I know it's going to be, depending on what Jim Rutherford can do, and he's been awesome aside from the Ryan Reeves trade. And I don't think we should have traded for Broussard, but Aside from that, he's been a rock star, getting Trevor Daly for Rob Scuderi, getting Justin Schultz for a third rounder, whatever. If he can get a good return, I think it's an awesome move. It's just going to just like rip my heart out. So that's the thing. It's really going to hurt. There's no way around that. Okay, like put it this way. Who's your favorite player? Chase Utley?
Howard.
Okay, Ryan Howard. So if the Phillies traded Ryan Howard for Bryce Harper, like imagine that.
Yeah. Timelines don't overlap, but yeah, I get your point.
Okay, but this is my limited baseball knowledge. I was trying to keep it topical with Bryce Harper. I could have said Carlos Zambrano and Carlos Marmol.
Well, no. Well, back in the day, there was a rumor of Howard for Pujols swap.
Okay, but Pujols ended up being garbage. So,
well, there was legitimate debate for like a while there on who was going to last longer, and without the injuries, I think Howard would have outlasted Pujols.
Yeah, but 58 and 06. So,
yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I'll go to the grave debating Howard was the better first baseman. No doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
I would have been so excited to make that Cooperstown trip if it wasn't for that unfortunate night in October of 2011.
Oh. But yeah, baseball's still going on.
Yeah.
See, like that's the thing. I'm not used. Well, I was used to this whole Penguins thing until the last 2 years, and now I got too cocky about it, and now
obviously
it kinda sucks. I got too used to sucking in the playoffs.
Yeah,
I got too used to Fleury, and apparently he's just outgrown it since he left. But
well, I mean, I've gotten too used to the Flyers being mediocre and losing.
Okay, but you're not a Flyers fan.
We literally opened this show with the fact that I am a Flyers fan, but I'm realistic about the team's chances.
Okay.
There's a reason why I tweeted out what I did on the day of the expansion draft, because I truly believe that this team, even if they don't get it this year, will win a cup before the Flyers do. The Golden Knights could have taken an entire AHL group of players, and I still would have firm belief that they would win a title before the Flyers.
Al-Qaeda just scored.
Oh wow, that's bad. That's really bad. That's really horrible.
In Washington D.C., no less.
We'll bleep that out.
It's not great. Oh, actually, it might have been Ovechkin.
No, I think it was Wilson.
It was who?
Look, Wilson. Oh, wait, just kidding. No, yeah. He's going to get himself in position.
Yeah, so let's talk about something else.
Oh, yeah, so I think we did really good for Hockey Hardo times. That was 18 minutes.
Oh, wow.
No, really great on our parts. I wanted Jason to get here for baseball talk. I feel like him and I...
Okay. We can just skip it.
Well, I mean, the Phillies are falling apart. But let's go to the Sixers. And instead of starting with the... Well, actually, no, forget that. NBA Finals. Because I'm gonna get these J.R. Smith theories out of the way.
Wait, real quick. Who do you hate more, Steph Curry or LeBron?
I don't hate either.
Oh, you don't?
No.
How do you not hate LeBron?
Because LeBron's probably the greatest player I'm ever going to see play.
Oh, yeah, no. I know I acknowledge that he's the best player to ever play the game and is the best on the planet right now. I still hate him because he's just well, I can't say it, but he's a baby. And I don't understand how you can watch him play. Well, like, he's great playing, but like watch like the way he complains and he'll make the chase down block and just stand under the rim for 2 minutes. That kind of thing, and enjoy that, you know?
I don't want to shatter your world, but the NBA today is filled with a bunch of tough guys who can cry like nobody's business.
I understand that, but I don't understand why his talent can't go because it wasn't like that when I don't want to get into LeBron versus MJ, but even though I acknowledge that LeBron is probably better than Michael Jordan was, people not just MJ, people didn't act the way LeBron acts or anybody in the NBA. So why couldn't LeBron's talent have gone to someone like Ron Artest or Ben Wallace or Richard Hamilton? Like, why couldn't we have gotten that?
Honestly, I think it's a bit of a sense of entitlement because in the NBA, you know for a fact that the superstars get the calls. This isn't something new. And I think once you reach that level, especially the level of LeBron, where it's like everyone's out here to watch me play basketball, I believe I deserve every call because at the end of the day, this game is mostly centered around what I do.
Yeah, and I just hate Steph Curry and his freaking mouth guard. I think if Steph Curry embraced the villain role and was actually like a Matt Barnes with his being cocky like that, I think I'd actually like him. But because he's cocky and still tries to be the nice, humble guy at the same time, I'm so out on okay, Steph Curry's a bigger fraud than you.
Wow.
There we go.
I'm now second.
Yes.
That's kind of pathetic.
That's correct.
I've taken on a new appreciation for the villain role.
I love a good villain. I'm trying to think of even a guy like Swaggy P or J.R. Smith. Here's your segue. I like guys like that, or even the actual nice dudes like Jimmer or what? Oh, Jesus, Jimmer or Kyle Korver or whoever, or a Scalabrini. But the Blake Griffins, the LeBron James, the Steph Currys, I can't do it.
I just pushed the panic button 20 times on Vegas this season.
No, I think this is actually best case scenario. The Capitals going up 3-1, and I think teams that go up 3-1 in the Stanley Cup final are 24-1 all time.
You mean the Capitals might blow a 3-1 lead?
The Capitals are absolutely going to blow a 3-1 lead.
And that's how segue us back to basketball.
It's funny, and if I could just squeeze this right in real quick. The year that I think it was 2 years ago, everyone blew a 3-1 lead. The Warriors, the Indians, who else? The Penguins were the only team that didn't blow a 3-1 lead. So that's kind of catching up. We were 2 years behind, so that's catching up to us this year.
I see. We as in the Hockey Hardo community.
We as in the NHL.
The Hockey Hardo community.
Yes, correct.
That's great. Back to basketball, because I believe that J.R. Smith might actually be a Michael Jordan truther. And thus...
So he's Mike Greenberg.
He saw the opportunity to say, hey, look, if this was MJ, the player would have made the shot. And pretty much, essentially...
Wait, George Hill?
No. J.R. Smith, he would have known the situation, either made the shot or got it back to LeBron. He was really sick and tired of the horrible content that had been put out by the Skip Baylesses of the world defending Jordan, that he realized the way to save MJ's legacy was to make such a horrible mistake that gave so many different hot takes on how it's LeBron's fault.
Yeah. Because
we have the team leader hot take, which right now is a clubhouse favorite for me. The fact that LeBron James should actually have a remote control in his hand when J.R. Smith touches the ball and be like, okay, I want him to pass. Pretty much like he's playing 2K.
Yeah.
J.R. Smith.
An awful game, by the way.
What?
I hate 2K. It's awful.
Okay. I mean, listen, one day we're going to have someone sponsor us. We can't hate everything.
Okay. Well, I do. So I don't know.
Anyway.
I have a take on J.R. Smith, but you can get yours out of the way.
The team leader, if it was Michael Jordan, he would have somehow grabbed that ball away from him and taken the shot and won the game.
You are not taking away the ball from Earl Smith.
But I think that's the funny thing. Like, honestly, if it was Michael Jordan, it probably would have been like Scottie Pippen that got the rebound, knocked down the shot, and Jordan would have got credit for winning the game.
Yeah.
But that's none of my business. That's neither here nor there. Another theory on J.R. Smith is that he's looking to get released this offseason and go back to playing China. This may seem a little far-fetched right now. You might be saying, well, come on. What's the logic behind that? The highlight reels from China, incredible. He goes back to China. He starts dropping 60 a game again, starts dunking on people. Some team, probably the Knicks, will give him like a 5-year, $20 million contract, something really nice.
What's he making with the Cavs?
Probably like one. I don't know. Is he making that much?
I don't know. I feel like everyone's overpaid in the NBA.
Everyone is. So, oh, wow. Whoa, I did not know this. Earl is rich.
Yeah, I figured.
He got a 4-year, $57 million contract. Forget that. He's not going to China. Oh, even better. He wants to get released so that he can get that money without playing, move to Colorado, open up a farm, and then he's set for life. That's the new theory I'm running with. That's the new theory I'm running with. That's my conspiracy for this whole event.
Okay.
He wants to get a year ahead of the business in Colorado.
That was really bad.
I'm convinced of this now. I'm going to work on this.
Not the least. I just find it interesting that for once in his life, J.R. Smith was like making a great play, like totally aware of the situation. And because if the game actually was tied, or they actually were ahead, he would have jacked up a ridiculous 3, would have bricked, and Steph Curry would have made the 3 right beyond half court to win it.
I was so excited. I thought for sure I was getting an Earl Smith game winner. The brand would have been on point. But honestly, I think the brand was done more justice by the fact that he dribbled out the clock in a tie game.
Yeah, I just think that it was so funny. Like J.R. Smith not being J.R. Smith for 1 second. And then it turned out that he actually was, in fact, J.R. Smith.
And also, another conspiracy I had on this was that he dribbled it out and then passed it to try and get rid of the narrative that he only shoots. It was like, oh, he made a nice pass in the last second of the game. Try and make everyone think like, I'm not a shoot-first guy. So that when he does end up having a game where he shoots like 25 times, everyone's like, well, he actually passed the ball at the end of the game. So he is interested in helping his teammates out.
The one thing I do have with LeBron in this situation is because I know we like to make fun of Skip Bayless and Stephen A. and whoever for their like blaming it on LeBron hot takes.
Yeah.
But LeBron wants to be treated this way. It's not like he's like this reluctant superstar. He wants to be the guy. And everyone makes it out to be like, oh, he has no one around him. You don't think he made the call to trade Isaiah Thomas because he couldn't learn his stupid handshakes? You don't think he signed off on acquiring Jordan Clarkson and Nance Jr. and giving Tristan Thompson that money and signing J.R. Smith?
Let me clear this up for you. Michael Jordan runs the Charlotte Hornets.
Yes.
I'm
not comparing anyone. I'm just saying.
Great basketball players do not equate great basketball managers.
Well, let the record show I didn't bring up Michael Jordan. You did. I was just talking about LeBron James.
No, but I'm just saying, just because you're great at playing basketball does not mean you're great at building a team.
But that's what I'm saying. When you're doing both at the same time, like LeBron is, it's not an excuse for him that he has no one around him because he played a direct part in acquiring everyone around him. He had Isaiah Thomas.
I honestly, think he did not want Kyrie to leave.
Yeah, well, and he drove Kyrie away. So that, again, is on him. But my point is, in the J.R. Smith situation, you can't expect him to rip the ball out from him. You can't expect him to have the controller. But in 5-6 seconds, either LeBron should know, if LeBron's going to make that big of a deal at J.R. Smith and scream at J.R. Smith for his mistake, LeBron should have been aware that they had a timeout and called it. Or LeBron should have been screaming at J.R. Smith, not after the play, but during those 6 or 7 seconds, and they could have gotten a timeout or a shot up. So that's where I kind of agree with the Skip Baylesses of the world. But you actually have to look at the situation rather than seeing that the Cavs lost and, okay, how can it be LeBron's fault? But actually look at like what LeBron does and how LeBron behaves, and then see, well, he did contribute to this in this way and this way.
Yeah, no, LeBron's not like absent of fault. However, it's really hard for me to look at a guy who dropped 51 points and his team lost and say, wow, there was so much more you could have done.
Well, there's a difference. If you swap, let's say you swap, I don't think this is a great comparison, but I don't watch enough basketball to actually make an educated one. If you swap LeBron James and Klay Thompson, just in the way those two behave, do you think that Klay Thompson drops 50, loses, and we're talking about him the same way we're talking about LeBron?
We don't need to talk about Klay Thompson the way we talk about LeBron, because if he drops 50, his team wins.
Okay.
It's all I
mean put Klay on these Cavs.
Oh, well, they've been eliminated rounds ago.
I'm saying
that's just the truth of it.
Just in general, not in the finals.
He's a great player.
Not in the finals, in the playoffs, all season long. We don't talk about Klay Thompson the way we talk about LeBron, because Klay Thompson doesn't behave the way LeBron does.
Yeah, but Klay Thompson doesn't get you as far as LeBron James does. I see your point.
Okay, that's not my point. Okay, you're really gonna make me bring Michael Jordan into this, aren't you?
Well, I mean,
you're really gonna do it. Okay.
What to do? You're trying to have an indirect Jordan LeBron moment.
That's not at all what I was trying to do.
Jordan with Klay Thompson, which I think is a fantastic job.
Fine.
Good for you. I like the idea of comparing Michael with Klay
That's
Thompson.
The thing, because I think Michael Jordan behaved in a different way than LeBron, but in a similar manner. I think if you put Kobe in LeBron's spot, it's the same thing, because Kobe acted the way LeBron does. But if you throw Magic Johnson in LeBron's spot right now, we don't treat them the same, because Magic isn't whining 24/7, not screaming at his teammates, not making all the moves, not making a big deal about ownership.
Like this, I'm not going to speak on the basketball players that I never watched play for full seasons. I get that LeBron can whine, and it does get annoying. It's certain he can whine. He also enjoys a fine wine.
Sheesh.
Basically, I want the Wade LeBron picture for that moment we just had right there.
That's the thing. Dwayne Wade is another guy. He's a superstar, and he's kind of like he's the NBA guy where he asks for calls, and he's a little bit of a dirty player, but he doesn't take it to that level that LeBron James does. And here's the thing: you got me into an NBA argument, and I hate the NBA, so this is what you're gonna get.
Well, yeah,
that's my take, and that also factors into, and maybe I'm not as dedicated of a Sixers fan as you'd like me to be, but given the option of having LeBron James on my favorite team, I would decline simply because I want to enjoy what I'm watching. And with LeBron, I would not enjoy that.
Let's save this argument for a few weeks.
Okay.
Because I can't wait to have this with you when free agency opens and the LeBron courting begins. Because I think you're insane. But hey, listen, that's the beauty of America. We can disagree here. No one's gonna get hurt. Uh, I wanted to wait for Jason to get to the burner accounts, but I'm not going to sit around here stalling for him. This is embarrassing at this point for the Sixers organization. This is just an embarrassment. Today, the Woj bomb was that they will be investigating Brian Colangelo and his wife,
No,
as in a week ago. This news broke, and the phrase being used for the investigation is "will be." This isn't something that gets delegated. They haven't worked out any draft prospects yet. It's June. We haven't heard anything about any draft prospects coming in because they don't know who's going to be running the team. Not to mention, you have the biggest offseason that this franchise has had since, I don't know, maybe when they traded for Moses Malone in the 80s. I mean, it's insane. We're sitting here and we're still talking about this like this isn't a foregone conclusion. If you are doing so much as a huge investigation into this, the trust has already been broken. If the upper levels of management don't trust Colangelo saying it wasn't him, their trust is already broken with him. How do you think the players feel? The players
it might just be a PR move because I don't think they're actually going to investigate it. They're either going to fire him right off the bat, which I thought would have been done today if they were going to do it. So
6 days.
Okay, so I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're going to keep him around. They're going to do this investigation just to kind of quiet everybody, and they're going to keep him on because that's what they do. Yeah, I mean, I wish I had more to say to it as a fan of this team.
Crawford a max contract, and then I'm officially out.
I mean, I was right on the front lines with you with the Jerry Conmangelo sign. I think that whole family's a bunch of. I don't think they're frauds because they're pretty upfront about how horrible they are. But yeah, bunch of Conmangelos, and I think they're sticking around just because of this is kind of how the NBA operates. And Adam Silver is 100% to blame.
I don't. Here's what I don't understand. I don't understand the infatuation with this family. I get that Jerry Colangelo did a great deal in Phoenix with building up basketball there. And hey, that's great. Thumbs up to you.
I didn't even know that.
What?
I didn't even know that. Can't be that well known.
Okay. Still, great job to you. Great job, Jerry. We're real proud of you. So many years ago.
Also, this isn't even Jerry.
Exactly.
What's the point?
And that was the other thing. There was nothing that needed to be built in Philadelphia. There was nothing. The passion around this team was there from the beginning, and it'll be there in the end. When Hinkie was here, there was nothing that really needed fixing, aside from the fact that the NBA got insecure about how well Hinkie was reading their system. And they're insert Jerry Colangelo, which in itself is a travesty and something that really shouldn't have happened in sports. Hinkie's gone. They 75 candidates for the job that they gave in like one day to, shockingly, Jerry Colangelo's son.
Yeah.
Who still is insecure about the work he did in Toronto, still talking about the work he did in Toronto, still talking about how he brought in DeMar DeRozan, brought in Kyle Lowry, because we see just how far those two can get a team into the playoffs.
Yep.
And now we have this. Where's the line drawn? Because the Raptors got better as Colangelo left. Despite the pieces they left, they ended up getting better without him.
Yeah.
Here in Philadelphia, the Fultz trade, I'm willing to wait it out. It looks early on. The early returns, not promising. Bellinelli, big fan. Ilyasova, I liked it.
What did the Nerlens trade bring? I'm forgetting.
A fake first rounder and Justin Anderson.
Yeah.
So they got 2 second rounders and Justin Anderson, who love Justin Anderson, but I pretty much they let Nerlens Noel value drop to the point where
and they were very quick to give up on him. I just think it's one of the greatest injustices in recent sports history that Hinkie's. I think process is overused, even though it's kind of the term. I think that Hinkie's plan not being able to be like seen out is is a big one, and I really wish we had the opportunity to see that happen.
Well, it's funny because you're going to see over the next few years as the stars dim in certain cities that they'll start to use the process. But well, Adam Silver quickly going to turn his head.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you already see it with with the
Phoenix.
Kings and
Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix. All these awful teams, they're following the model.
Because the model yields results.
When Costa Kufos has 25 points at half and you sit him for the game, like red flag. But I just think that we should have really had the chance to see how that would happen, because even though it's gonna work out with Simmons and Embiid and hopefully Fultz. I'm not a huge Fultz fan, to tell you the truth, but it's probably going to work out like that. We never got to see what this was really capable of. Who knows what would have been done with Nerlens if if they kept him around, if Hinkie was able to make another one of his deals with him. What would happen? Maybe he doesn't even. What does he do with Okafor? Maybe he doesn't even trade for Fultz. Maybe he ends up with Tatum and, they win a title this year. You never know. But I think the Colangelos really, really messed that up. And, I mean, it's not like the fans were loving them to begin with, let alone this whole mess.
I think, to Colangelo's credit, the Sixers won 52 games this year because of their mediocre management.
Yeah,
because the Colangelos are perfectly fine with collecting their wage and putting together a team that will make the playoffs and passing it off as success. I think it's pretty apparent with what the Suns' history is and with the Raptors that there was the idea of winning a title. It's all get so close, and we need another piece. Blame it on the players. Blame it on the coach. Get a new coach. Something along those lines.
Yeah.
So I think they won 52 games because the Colangelos pretty much were like, "Hey, let's make this respectable," and didn't realize the actual weapons they already had at their disposal in terms of Simmons' development and Embiid's development, and bringing in JJ Redick, bringing in Amir Johnson. Guys that can contribute. However, I don't think that this management is the management that's going to get a team over the edge. I really don't think, and now especially, if I am a player looking for a team in free agency, if the Colangelos are in charge, why bother? I mean,
how do you miss that? Sorry.
I'm just being honest.
Yeah. Are you still watching?
I'm still watching.
I didn't know if you'd given up yet.
No, I've just hit the panic button. But
no, if anyone's gonna blow a 3-0 lead after the first period, this team. So
yeah. So that's what I got for you. It's pathetic. It's a pathetic move on and really an organization that has a history of being pretty weak in its convictions.
Yeah, my fandom is dwindling a little bit, and it's gonna dwindle even further if they end up getting LeBron.
It's honestly a shame because the public perception of the Sixers organization was kind of fixed over the past, like, I would say
year.
Yeah,
really.
Year. I mean, winning 52 game, winning kind of erases all the bad memories. Because people kind of forget how it was mismanaged, how management was pretty horrible when they had one of the best players in the NBA in the early 2000s. Then continuing on with that, they refused to get a superstar. When they finally went after a superstar, that superstar's name was Andrew Bynum. And then
Andrew Bynum also marked the unofficial start of the process.
Yes, absolutely. Andrew Bynum deserves a lot of credit.
That photo is a personal favorite of mine.
The half hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, Andrew Bynum certainly deserves credit for ruining the Sixers franchise so badly that they had to hit the reset on the way people thought about them.
Yeah.
So honestly, if you are one of the Sixers owners watching this right now, I think it's a time for an overdue thank you card to Andrew Bynum for doing.
Isn't the Sixers owner like relatively well liked though?
Yeah. Well, you're thinking of Michael J. Rubin.
No.
Ja-
I thought his name was Josh.
Oh, Josh Harris, I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's also well liked, but Michael Rubin was the guy that freed Meek.
Oh, okay. And that also really confused me.
What?
The whole Meek situation.
Do we want to go into the criminal justice system here? Do we want to stick?
Not really. I just found it interesting that in a world of sports where we kind of tiptoe around all that stuff, and particularly with the NFL, you don't want to, get too involved with that kind of stuff. And it's. I know there was a whole lot of complication with the judge and whatnot, but like there was a reason Meek had his parole or probation or whatever in the first place, and to just kind of like disregard that, I thought was interesting. I'm not like arguing one way or another. I just found it intriguing the way that was all handled.
Yeah, I think
by like the organization, not like the fans.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be best for us to tiptoe. Yeah, pretty much do the dance around this one.
Okay.
Because I'm not trying to turn this into a criminal justice debate by any. Also, I want to point out that Made in America, for Philadelphians who enjoy some music, the lineup this year really disappointed. But interestingly enough, Nicki Minaj and Meek Mill performing at the same place. I don't have the numbers on that, but I can't imagine that's happened quite a bit since the breakup. So I am really intrigued.
I didn't even know they broke up. Who's Meek with now?
I don't think he's with anyone. I think he's just focusing on being free.
No.
Nicki Minaj was rumored to be with Eminem, which is something else.
I think it's hysterical how washed up Eminem is.
It's bad. It's quite bad.
And I'm looking forward to Drake being washed up.
Washed up Drake watching Raptors games in a LeBron jersey.
I was actually Team Meek during the original beef.
I was as well. I wasn't a huge Drake guy.
He's so annoying. Drake is the LeBron of rap. I'm so serious.
I've grown to appreciate some of his music. However, just the personality sometimes really, really irks me.
That's the thing. Would you want Drake on your rap team?
My starting five, no, I probably wouldn't put him. Well, probably would not. I think he's one of those guys where you're gonna have to overpay for him, and I don't think I put him on my team.
Fair enough.
Rather, a few more role players. I think he's I would say he's probably the Carmelo Anthony of rap.
Yeah, that's probably a better representation. But I want someone who like complains all the time too.
Certainly going to pay $25 million a year for him.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably a better representation.
Yeah. I think that's that. Actually, I don't think we've been on here since Oklahoma City got eliminated. So not that we ever talk much about it, but just to.
When is any pod coming back? Because I still haven't been invited on.
Yeah, I've been told that they were coming back next Thursday, like 4 Thursdays ago. So.
Oh, okay.
We'll see. But I just want to take this moment to laugh at intern. Russell Westbrook still is never ranked.
I like Russell Westbrook a lot too, and I've come a long way because in my youth I referred to him as a less likable Derrick Rose.
Yeah, I would say less likable Derrick Rose, except I liked Derrick Rose. So
Well, that was back when like Derrick Rose was the better of the two and more likable somehow.
can you imagine?
It's completely flipped.
Can you imagine the East if Derrick Rose never got hurt? That would have been fun.
I don't think so.
I would
I was
have.
never really a fan of those Bulls teams.
Yeah, well, it would have been who do you hate less, honestly.
Well, I actually liked when. Well, I didn't like when Derrick Rose got hurt, but when Derrick Rose was hurt, I liked when Nate Robinson and Kirk Heinrich were the guys.
Well, I was a big Kirk Heinrich guy.
I've always been a huge Kirk Heinrich guy. I remember the trade deadline that he got dealt to the Wizards or from the Wizards. That was like a key moment in my life.
We interrupt this show for breaking news. Did Giancarlo stay in the homer?
Bring his trade stock up a little bit for you.
Yeah, yeah. Because baseball, the Phillies are slowly falling apart, but I feel like we should.
I'll actually be at the Phillies game on Saturday. Hopefully, Kato Kalin will be joining me.
Wow.
He hasn't responded to the invitation yet, but hopefully that's coming soon.
All right. So apparently, Giancarlo
That's a trip.
hit a home run.
No, he didn't.
Yes. So now he has as many home runs as Marietta and Zach Eflin over the last 2 weeks. Remember, 2 pitchers, 2 starting.
Yeah, no, I figured that out.
Yeah.
How many does Tommy Joseph have?
Don't start with that. Oh wait, what are we getting here?
Power play.
Just a power play.
As opposed to what it probably would have been a goal if he wasn't tripped.
Yeah, I was wondering if we're getting a little penalty shot action.
No. Do you know the rules on the penalty shot?
No, that's kind of why I was wondering. I remind people all the time, I am not a hockey analyst. I'm simply a hockey fan.
Yeah, but hardo implies that you know something about the sport.
No, I'm a hardcore fan.
Okay. Hardcore fans know the rules of the sport.
Do not know nearly enough. Have you ever listened to sports talk radio?
What?
I said there are plenty of hardcore sports fans that do not know nearly enough. Have you ever listened to sports talk radio?
Yes, I've listened to sports talk radio.
A lot of people on there care a lot about their sports, but do not know nearly enough.
Okay, but there's a difference between caring a lot about your sport and calling yourself a hardo.
Really, you really take all the fun and humor out of everything.
I really don't, though, because if you read or heard any conversations between me and Hugh Jim B fan, you would know that I'm the one who endorses fun.
I'm well aware you claim to endorse fun. You really just gotta try and stomp all over all the enjoyment I have.
Yeah. Well, no, that's you specifically, though.
Yeah. Well, I'm not a big fan of that.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's. Well. Yeah.
Cantor's not joining us tonight.
Any league?
Huh?
Any league? How's
Any
it go?
league? I've been doing pretty well. Once you actually finish this collapse of yours, I'll be in a playoff spot. So.
Really? Because Aaron Stronging took my playoff spot this week.
Yeah, that thing I don't know why we don't have 3 playoff berths from each division, but oh well.
Yeah, it's probably designed so that when our division inevitably falls apart because we all stop paying attention in July.
So I guess when future Berg Red or Tyler Sandora collapses, then I'll be in a playoff spot. But for me to be in, I guess I'm technically in 4th place, but I really should be in 3rd place in this division by now is incredible. I don't know what the odds were on that, but yeah, there's no way anyone would have expected that. And I don't think I'm getting nearly enough credit.
Hypothetically, there was a lot of money to be made on your success.
And it hasn't come without controversy. There was some Scooter Jeanette transactions, but I've persevered. I've come out the other side. But yeah, it's looking promising for 2005 Jim Edmonds.
The John Mayberries are looking more like 2015 instead of 2012.
I think you should consider changing your team name.
I think I do. I am thinking that I'm doing him an injustice.
Yeah.
Current slump. I do think though John Mayberry sitting on his couch watching baseball right now is a better outfielder than Lino De Shields and Giancarlo Stanton combined. I'll give Nomar Mazara credit. He's having a nice go of it recently.
I was about to make a suggestion, but I'm totally forgetting his name. Who was the outfielder who played for the Blue Jays and the Phillies? Oh, he played for the Phillies and then he went to the Blue Jays. Like very recently.
Dominic Brown?
No. He was like a relatively good player.
Ben Revere?
Yes, Ben Revere.
What do you want me to pick him up or something? Is that like
No, I think he's still in the league?
I think he is.
Oh wow. I was thinking you just change your team name to the Ben Reveres.
No, never.
Do something with like Ben Revere and Paul Revere, something like that. I feel like that's been done before, being like Philadelphia and patriotism and whatnot.
All right, well that's enough of that. In terms of the Phillies, they're falling apart. They can't hit. Rhys Hoskins has a fractured jaw.
Well, they just won. Oh no, they didn't win.
No, they didn't just win.
They got beat by the Giants. Yeah.
Greg Murphy was the highlight of that series. Him in a kayak. That was by far the best moment of that series. And as much as I love Greg Murphy, that's really sad.
I don't even know who Greg Murphy is. So.
He does the reporting down on the field. Except him in a kayak instead. Jake Arrieta hit a home run.
I feel like everyone does that when they go to San Francisco, though.
Yeah, I understand, but like just seeing him in the kayak pedaling while trying to talk was kind of fun.
Oh, is he a large man?
No.
Oh, I feel like that would have been funnier.
Yeah. Okay. Probably would have. Arrieta's home run.
Speaking of large men, Rube still has me blocked, and I'm really upset. Because I keep seeing like people like quote tweet him, and I can never see what it is. Same thing with Elias Sports Bureau. I still have no clue why they blocked me, but it bothers me so much.
I'm waiting. I'm just gonna give you your chance to.
I'm not sure who else blocked me, but like those are the two that bother me the most. Because I just see like all these Philadelphia hot takes, and I never know what they are. And then
sure
like
said that Nick Foles was a top 10 Eagle all time.
He is or isn't a Foles guy?
Oh, he's a huge Foles guy.
Oh, okay. So that's probably where I lost him. But I never followed him in the first place, so I don't know what the issue is. And then I again, Elias Sports Bureau like bugging me every single day. I lose sleep over that.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
What else do I want to tell? Yeah, trying to touch on the Phillies. Jake Arrieta's home run is the only run they have in 27 innings, which tells you all you need to know about their hitting.
That's like 3 games.
Yeah. It is. Good math. Real proud. Their hitting is horrible. JP Crawford's still out. Rhys Hoskins now out. Dylan Cousins is up in the majors. Which is,
I got really confused when people started talking about him because he's like a top prospect in not this year's draft, but next year's NHL draft. So yeah.
So you've been doing your scouting in the NHL, and you thought like,
I'm a big NHL prospect guy. I don't think you knew that. Are you kidding me?
This is actually like the worst collection of hockey I've ever been subjected to. Which is a total overreaction, and I'm just mad, so I'm saying things with big words.
The Vegas is gonna have like their unluckiest night ever, and still only lose like 3-2. So there's a spin zone for you.
No, there is no spin zone. There's no coming back from this. Panic button.
Okay,
I'm gonna cry.
But like you can rebound from this because you're not actually a Vegas fan.
Yeah, but I've invested so much in the fact that they're going to win this that.
But like who actually is like actually cares about like your prediction on the Golden? Actually, you didn't even make a prediction.
I did.
No one actually. What was your prediction?
That they'd win a couple for the Flyers.
Oh yeah. But like, who actually cares about that? Who? Okay, very good.
I care about going back and trashing Mark Kremer and various people from my high school.
Okay.
That's what I care about. And I care about being right. You know what? That's really what this is all boils down to.
Yeah.
I'm having a bit of a superiority complex about this. I want to pretty much laugh in people's faces. And you know what? That makes me a horrible person. But
You mean an inferiority complex?
No, because I'm going to be superior.
But you're not superior.
I am superior. But now I want them to know how superior I am.
Okay. I don't think. Okay.
That's how.
Oh my god. Ryan Reeves needs to be on the power play.
Oh my gosh! Please.
He was actually the extra skater in Game 3, which I thought was awesome.
I just hear "Hello, Darkness, my old friend" in my head right now.
That's actually the Disturbed cover of that song is actually really good.
Oh my gosh!
You know what song that is, right? Or no? It's actually like a classic song.
What song?
How do you not bury that? The Sound of Silence.
Oh, this is torture to watch. All right,
This is awful.
I can't through this anymore. Do you have any closing thoughts?
Not really.
There was one more thing I wanted to talk to you about.
Like I there's a couple baseball debates I want to have with Cantor, but so I won't go through those now. But analytics are for losers. I haven't decided like definitively what I want for Phil Kessel. But yeah.
I just wanted to know thoughts on nobody showing up to pit the Steelers OTAs.
I didn't even know that was a thing. I don't really care about the Steelers right now. There was the whole Mason Rudolph thing, Big Ben. I'm officially out on Big Ben, but I kind of was already.
Yeah, that's not news. Sorry.
Le'Veon Bell, it's going to be the same situation as last year. Antonio Brown, I'm kind of out on.
Somebody's ready to reset button.
I'm ready to blow up the team, honestly. But like I keep saying this is the last year for the window, but I also do think that it says a lot that with Todd Haley as offensive coordinator, Ben was ready to retire, and then we hired Randy Fichtner, and he's ready to play 5 more years. So
yay, Mason Rudolph gets to watch for 5 years and not talk at all in the quarterback's room.
Yeah, I mean Mason Rudolph will play because Ben will get hurt for a game.
Landry Jones is the future.
If Landry Jones sees another snap, I will snap.
Oh, can we get that in writing?
I want Josh Dobbs as number 3 because we wasted what, a 4th round pick on him, and those are a little more valuable in the NFL. I kind of feel like, or was it 3rd round? It might have been 3rd round.
I want that in writing.
Well, I mean, it's already kind of true. It's already kind of been proven. So, but I think he should be cut during training camp.
We shall see. That's all the time I got for you. That's all I got for you. I'm done.
All right.
Any final thoughts on your part?
Nah, I have to write an essay. So,
well,
don't take summer classes. Just don't do it.
Crazy times.
Don't grow up, kids.
My closing thought, pretty much any sports team that I've supported, I'm hitting the panic button on. Yeah. So that works. Thank you all for watching. We actually had viewers coming in and out, which was pretty
How many
cool.
did we have?
I don't know. We'll get to the end. I think at one point we might have peaked at 2 viewers, but there was constantly 1 viewer coming in and out.
Tyler Sandora.
Hopefully. I don't know. He might be a big Jason Cantor guy, so he might not have watched.
Oh, yeah.
But that's all we got. Next week is the plan. Jason should be back for that. The week after that, I will be out of commission. But we'll get to that when it happens. Thank you all for watching. This has been BTB Now. I'm still Raydon at Raydon BTB. At Bogatus BTB if you want to follow the other guy. It's been a pleasure.